If I was a brand new trader, starting with a fresh $10,000 prop firm account, this is the only way that you will never fail a prop firm challenge ever again. Not only that, you will be able to keep your account, scale it, and consistently maintain your payouts. And frankly, just be able to trade consistently long term. What's going on, awesome people of YouTube? Jay here, founder of Funded, and I have helped countless traders do exactly the same thing. Not just helping traders acquire funding, but actually scaling their accounts and consistently maintaining payouts on those accounts in the long term by implementing a mechanical strategy with a proven edge, and this exact risk management strategy that you can use where you will never fail a prop firm challenge ever again. By the end of this video, you are going to learn my mechanical strategy with a proven edge that is consistent and profitable long term, how to consistently take action upon this strategy, and how to never ever fail a prop firm account ever again. Most of you are probably here because you want to get funded or at least reach somewhat sort of consistency in your trading career, right? But now, when you get to the end of the month, what you're probably seeing is your strategy performed excellently well. You're going back and you're reviewing all of the trades that played out according to your strategy, and it was a very profitable month. Perhaps there was a lot of wins and very few losses, and whatever it may be, your strategy performed really good, but your actual results are down here. Let's say you perhaps had a bit of a loss this month or still at break even, and you're wondering why, because, well, my strategy performed really well. How come I didn't keep up to its expectation? Perhaps you missed one or two trades, or you hit break even on one or two trades when that was actually supposed to be a full runner. Perhaps you pulled out one or two trades because you're in a bit of a drawdown and you didn't want to take a full loss. Now that gap between your actual performance and your strategy performance is called the performance discrepancy gap. Now, until you actually learn to close this gap, you are never going to reach any sort of consistency and profitability in your trading. And how exactly can we do this? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you in today's video. And I'm not going to give you some bullshit advice saying, don't worry, bro, just be patient. Make sure that you are patient in the market and that you all that nonsense. I'm going to actually give you really game-changing value in today's video that will help you close this gap, which is going to be your key to getting profitable and maintaining payouts on your prop firm account. Okay, I'm going to pop up a document over here. So this is my so far performance for 2024 on every single trade that I've taken this year. Okay, I know it looks like a lot, but just to simplify it, all of these that say +2 are my wins. All of these that say -1 are essentially my losses. There are a total of 118 trades here in this data, and just to break this down and make it short, sweet, and simple, all of these +2s, 2.2, 2.04, 2.2, 0.06, 2.2 are my wins. The -1s are my losses. So as you can see, I trade a fixed mechanical to risk to reward. In my particular strategy, I look at a total of about 15 pairs. On the left-hand side over here, you can see all of the valid pairs that I had setups on. And on this overall strategy, I have about a 76% win rate so far. So it's super consistent, it's super mechanical. But this is the problem. Not with the strategy, but why a lot of traders aren't profitable is because they're not executing consistently upon their strategy, and they have not closed that performance discrepancy gap. And the difference is here is that I've executed every single trade that printed my valid criteria every single time. No doubt, no hesitation, no, oh, should I enter this? This one doesn't look as good. If my rules tell me to enter, I execute and I take action upon that. And that consistent action on my strategy is what allows me to get these consistent results. Why? Because now I have learned to close this performance discrepancy gap, keeping my performance on par with my actual strategy performance. So instead of getting maybe a 40% win rate when my strategy actually has a 75% win rate, I am now getting a 75% win rate where my strategy actually gets a 75% win rate. Why? Because I'm taking consistent action upon my strategy. I don't have any gap in my performance. I'm executing my strategy to the T and to the rules. In this video, I'm going to give you something really practical that's really going to make a great difference to your trading strategy to make sure that we change and that we close that performance discrepancy gap. Back in the day, when both you and I, when we all started trading, we were one of two people. We were either the indecisive person or the person that is regretful. So this is the person we were when we felt before a trade, and this is the person we were when we felt after a trade happened. Okay, so over here we have a little triangle. We have a swing at the base of this triangle, swinging between indecisive and regrets, the two people that we were when we started trading. Okay, now when we started trading, of course, we don't know yet how to form a profitable edge. We don't know if this trade is going to win. We don't know how much to risk. And these are questions that constantly dart our mind before we enter a trade. Okay, we see a setup, it looks good, but as you're about to click that sell button or the buy button, we have that doubt. Should I buy? Should I sell? And once we actually enter the trade, should I hold this? Should I wait for TP, or should I close early and just take my profits? I'm pretty sure you can agree with me, but we all at that point where we felt like that when we entered a trade. Okay, and then after, let's say the indecisiveness of should I buy, and we did not decide to buy, and that trade plan happened and it ran beautifully, afterwards we feel regret because now we feel like, okay, I should have bought this position. Why didn't I buy this position? And you start kicking yourself in the ass. Or same thing with the sell position. I should have sold and it ran beautifully. Why didn't I sell? Okay, or if you close the trade early because you're happy with your profits and then it ran to full TP and full profits after you closed, we sit there and we feel that regret. I should have held this position. And this is the consistent gap between our discrepancy performance, and what is causing that gap is that constant swing between indecisiveness and regret between each and every trade. Now, the master traders, we can call them the top 5%, if you want to call it that, are sitting up here, where this base is now narrowed up. There's no indecisiveness in the trades that they're taking. They know exactly when to execute and when to hold and where to close their trade, which leads to, once that trade is complete, there's no longer any regret because they follow their rules. They know they're executing their edge. There's no doubt. There's no hesitation. There's no indecisiveness, which means there's going to be no regret. And they are the ones that have fully closed this discrepancy gap at the top of this pyramid. And we don't want to be doing this, right? We don't want to constantly being fluctuated between indecisiveness and hindsight of I should have bought or I should have sold, and that emotion of regret at the end of every trade that we didn't take action upon because of our indecisiveness in the first place. We want to be bang at the top, centered, and we want to have clear, crystal clarity on when to enter, no indecisiveness, pure clarity on each and every trade, and we 100% know that when we execute this trade, we're not going to have regret once this trade is played out. Whether it's a win or a loss, we know we've executed this trade because our criteria have met. Now, going forward with trading for the rest of your life, if you want this to become a really wealthy game for you, I'm not going to say rich because it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but if you want to reach true wealth with this industry, you cannot be a hindsight trader for the rest of your life. You cannot be indecisive on every single position that you execute upon. You know, we can't have that feeling, okay, happy with the profits this month, we'll continue trading the next month. Okay, we don't have to trade this month, we'll just rather continue the next month. That as well is indecisiveness in your trading, and that will not lead to any form of wealth in this industry in the long term. Now, if you want that unwavering certainty, that 100% clarity every single time that you execute, I'm not saying that you're going to execute and win every single trade. We got to ask ourselves this: how can you be 100% certain that you are making the correct decision ahead of time every single time? The easiest way to do this, there are two types of trading strategies, and I bet you that most of you that are not profitable are trader number one. The masters are trader number two. Trader number one is the decision-based trader with a discretionary system. So this is where the trader, you as a trader, decides which trades to take based on your own judgment and the current market conditions. Okay, we complete our analysis. Perhaps today we're trading on the 5-minute time frame. We have a beautiful EMA crossover and the RSI is overbought and we're looking to sell. Okay, all of our trading processes, our decision-making process, what causes us to execute this trade. And perhaps the next day, we looking at a 4-hour time frame, we see a beautiful demand zone, looking for longs. Maybe the EMA is also now bullish. So this day, we've traded a completely different rule set and a different judgment on compare what we did to the previous day. And then the next day, we're now trading some EA that we think is profitable and we're executing trades upon that EA. So what I'm getting down to is with decision-based trading, your rules and your criteria is going to be different every single time, which is going to lead to a lot of confusion in the long-term trading process because we don't truly know if what we're doing is actually profitable long-term. Because how can we actually tell when we're changing up the strategy based on our own decisions every single trade? It's impossible to even learn if there's any slight form of consistency long term in trading like this. And now, because we don't know if this is profitable or not, in the back of our minds, we consistently swing in between the indecisiveness and the regret of every single trade because we don't know if this trade is going to hold because we don't have a proven strategy. We're trading differently every single time, and we don't know if this is going to run. So trading like this is going to be very discretionary. There's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of question marks, because maybe we kind of know what we're doing. You know, sometimes we executing on this time frame, we doing a little bit something there, and then doing something a little bit different there. And we kind of know what our analysis is, or sometimes we use that type of zone, or we use that EMA, or whatever it may be. But the thing is, it's too discretionary. There's too much of a gap and too many differences in your rules and your trading decision process that can determine if this is profitable or not. Okay, so if I come back to this table graph here, the more discretion that we have, the higher the chance we're going to have in our trading of incorporating more emotional mistakes in our particular trades, which our mistakes is what? Indecisiveness. Should I buy this? Should I hold? Should I sell? And then afterwards, should have I bought? You know, we hindsight. I should have sold. I should have held because maybe that trade played out beautifully. But because of the discretion in our trading system, we have too many emotions involved. And because of that, we will not be able to execute consistently upon our strategy. Therefore, we're going into the markets blind, not knowing if we're profitable or not. It's like the same thing as going into war without a weapon. So if you can replace as many of these discretionary criteria as possible with more rule-based criteria, what do you think is going to happen? Well, this curve is going to drop. We are going to have a lot less emotional mistakes in our trading, and we are going to have a lot more clarity and confidence on when we know to execute or when to buy or sell, or when we should hold. Now, closing this discrepancy gap, which is our objective to get to the top of this point where the profitable master traders are. Because now our chances of making these emotional mistakes are going to just drastically reduce, which leads us to trader number 2. So trader number 2 is the rule-based trader, and this is where the masters lie. So now, instead of taking trades based on your own judgment, this is where your trading system decides which trades to take, regardless of the current market conditions. This is a fully mechanical strategy. It's really as simple as this. If this happens, you do this, or if this happens, you do that. There's no ifs, buts, or what ifs in between, or any doubt in between. There is crystal clear clarity and understanding between each and every decision that is made. You just follow it. It's simple. Literally like a flow diagram over here. Either this is going to happen, you either going to do nothing, or this is going to happen, then you do this or that. Either execute or do nothing. It's as simple as that, and every single decision is laid out for you, almost to the point where you can actually code this into a computer and algorithmically execute upon it every single time. The system tells you what to do, not your own gut or instinct. And once you can understand this concept that I've got on the screen over here, alongside a fully mechanical trading strategy, you will be bulletproof in the markets. Because now let's say we're trading a fully mechanical strategy and we take 4 or 5 losses in a row, and now we start to doubt ourselves. We're not sure if the strategy is profitable. Should I move on? Should I stick with it and keep trying? Because this is inevitable. A point in time will come where you take a bit of a losing streak, and perhaps now you start to doubt your strategy. How do we actually know if these losses are a part of our probability model? Or are they bad trades that just simply should have not been taken? Let me break it down for you into something really simple. As traders, we are dealing with something what we call random distribution. So that means the outcome of any individual trade is random. Why? Because us as humans, we cannot predict the future. When we enter a trade, we don't know if that's going to win or not. We can't foresee the future of the direction of the chart and where it's going to go. Okay, so let's put this into an example. When we talk about a 60% win rate, okay, in our minds, and I actually just literally thought of this now, the fantasy in our minds is in the period of 10 trades, right? We take 6 wins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 4 losses, right? That's a 60% win rate. We won 6 out of 10 trades. But the thing is, in reality, we don't know what order or sequence or distribution these wins and losses are going to come in the form of. We could see a loss, a win, then a loss, then a win, then another loss, then a win, then 3 losses, then 4 wins, then maybe 2 losses, and then 5 wins, and then maybe 5 losses, and then 8 wins. We don't know that random distribution. So when we take a bit of a losing streak in our trading model, we just know in the real long term of our profitable equity curve, that little losing streak is just a short period of a bit of a down curve in an overall profitable strategy. We just know those losses is a part of the random distribution of our overall profitable trading model. Let's use my data as an example. So overall, I got about a 77% win rate. So that means I win, let's say, 8 out of 10 trades. And yes, the long-term equity curve is going up. It's profitable. But there were periods where I was on a downslope. So from here, the 2nd of November all the way to the end of December, that whole month, I was just not taking losses, but I didn't make any profits on the account. It was losing. But I know in that short period, that's just a part of the random distribution of this overall profitable model. Same thing in between July and August. It was very flatline. There was no profits. It was really just win, loss, 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 win, loss, loss, and remaining at break even. So now as a starting trader, when you start out like that, you're going to naturally start to doubt yourself because I'm not making any profits, because you haven't traded the model long enough to understand that it's just a small portion and a part of the random distribution in an overall profitable strategy. And that constant unpredictability in the markets is what twists so many traders' minds. Because as a trader, right, you want to win that trade. You want to predict the future. You want to win. But what if I told you the outcome of every individual trade that you're in right now doesn't actually matter? It doesn't matter at all because it's just a part of the random distribution. Our job as a trader is to make sure that we execute consistently upon each and every single one of our trade setups based on our rules that print no skipping trades, no doubt, no indecisiveness. We need to have that clear clarity and execute every individual trade that prints based on our rules to see that long-term profitable equity curve. So let's dive into the specifics of how I tackle risk management in my profitable trading equity curve with my criteria. Make sure to keep watching the video. I'm going to give you a whole separate series on how to trade my strategy, fully mechanical, profitably as well. So make sure to keep watching until the end to get that. Okay. So this is my strategy that I use to never fail prop firm accounts? Well, firstly is understanding everything that I've just said in this video so far. Secondly, I'm going to use a 100K account as an example. Let's just say I've bought a fresh, brand new 100K account from FTMO. Okay, this is exactly what you're going to do to never fail this account. Rule number one is if we are ever on 100K or above, so that means the first trade I ever take, and remember I'm trading always a fixed 1 to 2 R. Why? Because that's a mechanical rule. There's no doubt, there's no discrepancy in my risk to reward. It's fixed and it's proven to be profitable at 1 to 2 risk to reward. Okay, if I'm at 100K or above, I risk 2% per trade. Okay, and there's going to be two outcomes here. We're either going to win this trade or we're going to lose it. If we win, we'll be on 104K balance, 4% return, right? 2% to gain 4%. If we lose, we're going to be at 98K, 2% down, okay? Which is fine. From here, what I'll do is, if I'm 104K up, we continue. Risking 2% a trade. So we'll either be at 108K if we win the second trade, or we'll be back at 102K if we lose the second trade, which is fine. We're still above 100K, so we continue to risk 2% per trade. In the scenario where if we or our account size goes below $100,000 or the starting balance, I will then from here, I'll put the two scenarios, only risk 1% per trade. So the two scenarios are going to be, we either going to lose the trade and go down to 97K, or we're going to win the trade and go back up to 100K, right? Because we're risking 1% of the starting balance to make 2%. Okay, and then now that we're back at 100K, we repeat back to 2% risk. All right, in this scenario of, let's say we keep trading on 97K and we ever go below 95K. I've personally never been close to this because remember on a prop firm challenge, we have a 10% overall drawdown to work with. I don't worry about the daily drawdown because I only trade on the 4-hour time frame, so I hold trades for more than 24 hours, so that doesn't affect me as a trader. My thing that I need to look out for is max drawdown, which is usually 10% on prop firms. If I get to the point where my account has gone to 95K, which personally I've never done before, I've never gone below or gone more than 5% more in drawdown before passing the challenge or getting a payout. Okay, 95K. From here, we risk 0.5% per trade. So here, if we win the trade, we'll go to 96K. If we lose the trade, okay, we'll go to 94.5K. And we keep risking 0.5% until we're above 95K. Once we're above 95K, we risk 1% per trade. And when we get over 100K, we risk 2% per trade, compounding balance of the current balance. So this way, what this means is, in order to fail this challenge, you need to take 15 losses in a row to fail this challenge, which is, I've never even come close to that. Using my proven model, obviously, if you don't have a proven strategy with proven data that you've backtested, it's gonna be impossible to know. But I know through my edge and my profitability that I haven't come close to this and that I won't. Why? Because I am the mechanical guy. I know I've made all of the right decisions. I have had no hesitation or doubt in my decision-making process. I know that my rules are deciding which trade to take for me, and that my wins and losses and that my win rate is long-term profitable, but I know that it's a part of a random distribution. So when I take a loss in the moment, yes, it's normal to feel emotions. It's normal to feel down. And the same thing when you win a trade. It's normal to feel excited and to feel pumped up. But the difference is, and I'm pretty sure, a little bit off topic, I'm pretty sure you've been told this before, that we need to be completely bulletproof, emotionally bulletproof when we trade. We can't involve emotions. But this is the thing, right? We are rational human beings with chemicals in our bodies that produces by the form of nature. We can't suddenly stop that produce of the chemicals in our bodies that gives us these emotions. It's impossible for us to do that. So when we lose a trade, it's normal to feel down. When we win a trade, it's normal to get excited. Flip, even today, if I get a payout, I'll go out celebrating with my partner and we'll go have a drink. It's normal to feel excited. But the difference is I don't let my emotions and I don't let what I'm feeling take over my decision-making process. And that's the difference between letting your emotions take over your decision-making process and not keeping that discrepancy gap closed, because I know I'm executing my edge. I have clarity on every decision that I make. And that is where, if you want to get there, you need to become trader number 2. Okay, so if you want to become trader number 2, I'm going to give you guys full access to my free course on my higher time frame model that's fully mechanical with a 76, I average about a 70 to 80% win rates on various pairs. It's the same 6 criteria every single time. If the criteria prints, we execute. If the criteria doesn't print, we don't trade. And it's as simple as that, as simple as this order flow graph over here. It's actually so mechanical that you should be taking the exact same setups that I am taking. Okay, so I'll put a video on the screen over here where I cover each and every one of my rules in my trading strategy. I actually do a bit of live trading in this video, and I will also leave a link in the description to my free Discord where you can live trade with me for free. My course content is free. The only paid aspect that I have here at MM Funded, I know we don't like the gurus that sell courses and signals. All of that content is free, but my one-on-one mentorship, I call it the 0 to payout phase, where I work with you. You actually get my WhatsApp number, and every single trade that you take, I hop on call with you and guide you to mastering this. We actually go from 0, knowing completely nothing, to being able to maintain consistent payouts every single month, regardless of how long that takes. It could take you 3 months, a year, 3 years, then I'll be there with you for 3 years, if so be it. But the only thing is, because it's a lot of my time invested into you, I can only take on 2 to 3 people every couple of months or so. So it's not available to everybody, but my course content and my live trading streams in the description down below will be more than enough for you to understand this and to be profitable with the concepts that I've taught you today and with my particular trading strategy. What I do for the one-on-one mentorship is I have a 30-minute free one-on-one onboarding call where I will have a private discussion with you, get to know you on a more personal level as a trader, learn about the areas that we need to work on. It's a very tailor-made and personalized experience created in the one-on-one mentorship. And I will always say there is definitely going to be guaranteed results by the end of that mentorship. I will leave a link to my Discord and the free one-on-one booking call link in the description down below. And then as well as the course content, which is actually inside the Discord. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you on the inside.